Another special guest, your close friend Ramesh Damaniji also joining us. Member BSE, needs no introduction, has seen many Mahurat sessions right here on CNBC TV 18 with us. Rameshji, great to have you with us here. Appreciate your time. Happy Diwali to you, your family, and great that you could join us once again from the historic BSE location. Prashant, this side.
Hi Prashant, thank you so much for having me, and a very happy Diwali to your viewers. Happy, healthy and prosperous Diwali, Prashant.
No, absolutely. We were just, you know, I think maybe we need the luck, right? Especially now. We will talk slightly longer term in a bit, Rameshji, but you know, you are also someone who tracks what's going on in the world very closely, and you got US elections around the corner. You know, the betting market odds for Trump to win have come off sharply in the last 24 hours or so. And somebody was joking that's maybe because of celebrity endorsements, J-Lo, LeBron James putting their weight behind the Harris campaign. I don't know what your thoughts are and what a Trump win would mean for markets here and emerging markets. Rameshji, go on.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. Unfortunately, so very noisy out here today. I'm not being able to hear your question very correctly, but I assume you're asking me about the US elections.
Yes.
And I think generally what our research has shown, that whether it's a Democratic or Republican administration, markets tend to do well. In fact, they've done better under Democratic administrations. The two best performances in modern history have been under Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, when the S&P and the Dow were the best performers, followed then by the Republican administrations. So I don't think there's a lot to fear of even if a Democratic administration comes. But of course, Mr. Trump comes, he might change the rules of the game. He might include tariffs. He might move a more closed economy. The US has always profited and carried the world on his shoulders, and he may refuse to do that over the next 4 years if he wins. So I would be a bit more circumspect if Trump came into power as opposed to if Kamala came to power.
Hi, Mr. Damani, and thanks a lot for joining in. Happy Diwali to you as well as entire family. Nigel on this side. Well, Mr. Damani, from last Mahurat to this Mahurat, there's been a big party actually on the last stage, which has been good. Portfolios are feeling very good as well. If you had to pick up that one theme that you think that will do well, say from this one to the next one, could you help us out with that?
Nigel, your voice trailed off. Could you repeat the question, please?
Now, I wanted that one big theme, Mr. Damani, you know, that one big theme that we could look at from this Mahurat session to the next one. In the past, you've given us PSUs. We did very well. Some money has been taken off the table out there. But that one big theme, which one should it be for all our viewers?
I'll share two for the double Diwali Dhamaka.
Absolutely, please,
I think
give it
I
us.
have, yes. So, Nigel, thank you first. Very happy Diwali to you also. I think the two themes that we're betting, not necessarily from Samvat to Samvat, but over the next 3 to 5 years. The first theme is this, what I've said previously, the digital public infrastructure. India has leapfrogged a generation of infrastructure from analog to digital, from highways to PAN card issuance. So I think there are maybe half a dozen companies, and they're still trading at fairly modest market caps. Not necessarily price to earnings ratio, but modest caps. And compared to the opportunity that I see ahead for them, these companies are buy. So whether it could be eKYC, it could be PAN, it could be Aadhaar, or ONDC, enormous opportunities in front of these companies. I think some of these companies will prove to be great winners over the next 3 to 5 years. So I certainly would invest in them, but not for 1 year, but over 3 to 5 years. The other sector that surprised me myself, which I have bought, is the pharma space. And we're all familiar with the Dr. Reddy's and the DVs of the world, which are outstanding leading companies in this sector. But we've looked at the smaller mid-cap companies which are developing intellectual property from things like obesity vaccines, dengue vaccines, obesity pills, dengue vaccines, antibiotics, new range of antibiotics. I think there are a lot of rich pickings, surprisingly, in that sector, because for the first time, these Indian companies are doing genuine, serious intellectual property. I think the market will start recognizing and rewarding them over the next 3 months. So marginally, wherever I put the money for the things that I've sold, I put it in DPI and I put it into the pharma space.
That's really interesting. Mr. Damani, great to be listening to you, sir. First of all, a very, very happy Diwali to you, your teams, all at home. It's been a wonderful, prosperous year. I don't think we can complain at all. And I think some patience will go a long way for investors here. You've given us the two patakas already, sir. You know, I want to just come back to the situation that we find ourselves in now. You spoke about the US election. Now, we don't know the outcome. We were talking about flows moving to China, again, something that we can't control. Let's talk about the biggest domestic issue. Now there is a debate around earnings and whether somewhere we're looking at a sudden slowdown. What do you think, sir? I mean, is the corporate momentum still intact or is it faltering?
So again, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat the last part of the question? I've not been able to hear you properly.
Sir, I'm just trying to understand whether you are concerned about the earnings momentum faltering now.
Yeah, I am. I think that accounts for the slowness of the economy and the slowness in the stock market because you've had a pretty dull quarter of results. So it has worried me. But my feeling is that is a more transitory effect. I think the government expenditure has come down, but it will start picking up again in the next quarter. And that will act as a stimulus for the economy. And as someone said that basically if they change the GST rates downward in some critical issues, that will also act as a stimulus. So I'm hopeful that after 2 or 3 months of a very heady rise, the market will again recover maybe in the first quarter of next year.
Okay, I saw earlier, Ramesh, people coming up to shake hands with you. You're absolute celebrity down at the BSE. I used to be at the BSE for many years, back in the day, and a great fan following. You're going to see that to believe it.
Thoughts in from Mr. Damani as well before he has to rush. Sir, you gave us some thoughts, digital public infrastructure and pharma, which are obviously long-term, interesting ideas for you. But just to complete that point on earnings as well, which you said it should be transitory, suddenly there's this huge chatter around the urban consumer. And, this is new because one would have imagined that with the wealth effect, the market doing well, no one thought that there'll be a urban consumption slowdown, conversation arising. Your thoughts?
We all have to go. I want to hear from all of you.
You're asking about urban consumption?
Urban consumption, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Urban consumption.
40 seconds to go. You all will join
Right.
me in the countdown.
Yeah,
10 seconds.
I mean, it's a very difficult question because a large part of the market seemed to have sold off on earnings this time, which has never happened in the last 4 years. They've been down 10%. So we'll have to just wait and watch it. My feeling is that it's transitory because we are still in the middle of the earnings cycle. So we'll still probably do okay. But I have no other hard data to go on at this point.
Rameshji, PSUs, you were a big believer. PSU banks specifically, I think that's one cohort where earnings have really stood out. They've been solid. So just your thoughts on PSU banks specifically?
I think there's a lot of excitement in the BSE because the market trading just started.
Okay,
so
I think...
may I request you, please to repeat that question one more time.
If you can just give